Hello. Today I would like to speak with you about predictive readings. A predictive reading is one in which we look to the future. Many of my clients come to me with these kinds of questions or searching for some sort of answer or clarity to what the future is going to look like for them. Before we go any further, there's a couple of things I want to say about the future. First of all, we have this idea, this sense, that the future is a place we haven't been to yet. And so when we think about the future, we make the assumption that we don't know what the future is going to look like. However, we have a burning desire to anticipate or even have it handed to us what our future is going to look like as it unfolds. If we look at time as being a linear concept, the past, the present, and the future, as being separate experiences of time moving through our life or us moving through time, then it would make sense that we would have the assumption that we don't know the future because it hasn't happened yet. We can know the past because we believe that we've already been through it, and the present moment, well, that's a doozy. Because when it comes right down to it, the present moment doesn't exist. Feel that? What I just said, it's gone. It's now what we would consider to be the past. There is no present, you see. There is our experience of what we think we've already gone through, and there is the experience of what we hope will happen for us or hope to avoid, but pretend that we don't know. I want to present to you a different idea. It's not a new idea. Maybe I'll say it in a different way, and maybe it'll land differently for you than how you've heard it in the past, if you have indeed heard this. All time is simultaneous. What this means is that everything is happening right now, in this present moment that doesn't exist. Everything you've ever done, have thought, have experienced, all the things that you feel you're experiencing right now, and all the things that are in your future waiting you, are actually occurring all at the same time. The simultaneous time theory. In the metaphysical circles, you could go and read the Seth material by Jane Roberts to understand more of this. Or you could go to quantum physics and try to understand it there. Time as we believe we know it as a linear experience is a construct that we have created to make sense of what we observe in the world around us. A seed is planted. The seed grows into a tree. The tree exists for a period of time. The tree lives out its lifespan. It gets blown down, chopped down, falls down, and then it dies and goes back into the earth. And we see that as a line. It's a cycle. Because from the tree are come more seeds. And when the tree dies, it goes back into the earth. It becomes a nurse tree. It feeds other trees. It feeds the soil and the creatures around it. So it's circular. Now, the reason that I'm sharing this with you, and this is just the tip of the iceberg on this way of thinking and experiencing time, is that when we do a predictive reading, what we're looking at in the moment that we're asking the question is the most likely outcome from where we're sitting right in this moment, based on all of your beliefs, all of your experiences, and the choices that you make. And at any given time, anything that is said in a predictive reading can change because you have free will. And you can choose when you leave my space, for example, to turn left instead of right, and the whole thing gets changed because the event that was waiting for you if you turned left, or if you turned right, you're not going to encounter it if you go left. Can you feel that? So having said all of that, what actually this means is that the future is incredibly accessible. It's really a matter of remembering it. And then recognizing that every choice that you make at any point in time, any moment, has an influence on the outcome of whatever that prediction is. Now, through time, people have either been vilified for prophecy and for knowing or anticipating someone's future, or they've been glorified for it until the person receiving the news doesn't like what it is that they're hearing. But nonetheless, for most cultures, it's been problematic. And yet think of, for example, the Bible. The entire story is written on a prophecy, right? The return of the Messiah. And other religious books are similar. And each culture has a story that speaks about the future and how this world will unwind. Even the Mayan calendar was at the time a predictive tool all the way up until 2012 in our time. So although we may deny prophecy, we live in it constantly. Every time you make a plan, you're creating a prophecy of what you would like to see unfold and happen. So there are certain tools that we can use in our practice that helps us connect to some of those future possibilities or probabilities. Okay? So one of them is the pendulum. And if you've seen some of my other videos, you've seen where I've taught and talked about working with the pendulum. It's a very versatile tool. The trick with your pendulum is to always ask the question that can be answered with a yes or a no. So let's say, for example, will my oldest daughter go to university when she is older? And for me, that's giving me a yes. Now, I can also assume that because I know that that's one of her goals and dreams and it's what she's working very hard towards. But really, what is our understanding of the future if not our understanding of our habits and our desires in this moment, right? Let's ask another one. Let's make this one a big one. Will a meteor hit the Earth? Will a significantly sized meteor hit the Earth and cause mass destruction in the next 100 years? So that's giving us a no. Well, that's a relief. Thank goodness. Okay, now I can build my dream home and not worry about it. Here's another one. Will the sun shine tomorrow? And I'm getting a yes. Well, of course it's going to shine tomorrow. Somewhere, right? Let's break it down. Here in Victoria, in Canada, will I see the sun shining tomorrow? And that gives me a yes. And really as effective as going to the Weather Bureau and finding out what the weather's going to be like, right? Which is also a form of predictive reading. Based on the past experiences, based on what's right in front of us, we can say, I think it might be like this. Another way that we can connect in with the future is doing something that I call a 12-month reading. And this is a service that I offer to my clients and something that I teach my students. A 12-month reading, we use oracle cards as our tool, or runestones, any of the other divinatory tools, and we pull a card or a runestone for each of the next 4 weeks in order to understand the energies that we are calling towards us. We're not looking at specific experiences, we're looking at the energies. And understanding the energies that we're calling to us at any given time can help us navigate that period of time to better understand if it's a good period of time to go traveling, or it's a better period of time to start a new program, or what is another one? I don't know, fall in love, like we have any control over that. So what we would do, for example, is look at today, and today's date is the 15th of June. So I would look at the next 4 weeks until the 15th of July. What is the energy that I'm going to be calling to myself for this next 4-week period? And I'm using my own deck of oracle cards, the Healing Hearts oracle cards for this. So I could ask the question, what is my heart going to be working with or needing to know in the next 4 weeks? And I got Child's Heart, which says, be patient and loving with your inner love child. Let her out to play at making love cards simply because it's fun. Be silly in love, allowing it to be a true expression of the self. Well, that's perfect, because in 2 weeks my kids are out of school. We go over to Main Island. We do our big family camping weekend. I get to step back a little bit from all the work that I've been doing. I get to play. I get to go down to the beach. I get to have fun with my friends. So that very much ties into the energy of what I know is coming towards me in the next 4 weeks. The 12-month reading is that we do one of these polls for each of those 12 months. We lay it all out and we look at what the next cycle is going to be of 12 months, going through each of those months. It's pretty neat. What my clients often do is then take photographs of the cards for each of the months and the main theme of each month and put it up on their calendar. And then observe if we were accurate or not, remembering that we don't have to be right with any of this. Another way to check in with the future is your own heart's knowing or your own gut reaction, right? Moving into your solar plexus or moving into your heart. Think about what you want your life to be or how you see it unfolding. This can be a little more challenging to do If you're not 100% connected to your intuition and your higher self, if you have doubts about the information that comes to you, and so that's where the tools would be a better way to go. And there's nothing wrong with using the tools. That's what they're there for, right? But truly going into your gut. So I could say, I'm going to be an astronaut in this lifetime. And then my whole body goes, no. Oh, I'm not going to be an astronaut. I've had dreams of being an astronaut. I don't mean dreams like in my daily life. I mean in my nighttime dreaming. I've been on spaceships. I've been in space. So somewhere in my whole lifetime, or all time being simultaneous, I get to do that. Is it going to be this lifetime? Well, I just turned 48. It's possible in our concept of linear time. I could, I suppose, apply to NASA and get accepted and then go through the whole thing and end up in space. All things are possible. My gut reaction, my heart says, no. Other things are coming towards you. So really learning how to trust what your body is telling you about what the future holds for you. Okay. So having said all of that and shared with you some of these tools and techniques that I use to do predictive readings, what do you think is going to happen to you next? Let me know. I'd love to hear.